GPVWC 2020 is go!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to round 9 of the Supercup Championship here at Hockenheim. We are about to get underway for qualifying. All 29 cars so far, should be 30 in a minute, are lined up to start their quali laps. I'm here with Josh Downard once again. How are you doing, Josh?
I'm doing very well, thanks. Looking forward to tonight. Should be a good one.
It should be a good one because every time we keep talking about those, the championship standings being so extremely close, and it's gone a little bit further apart, but it's still extremely close. We have Leon Buck, who had an unfortunate last round. He disconnected in the race 1 on the formation lap, and then race 2 obviously had to start from the back, so he missed a lot of points there. He was originally starting from pole. He's now still first in championship, only leading by 1 point from Frank Hemming. And then 17 points behind Hemming, there is Quintay. And then there is a big gap, about 30 or 25 points, opening up to David Junt in fourth. So it is still quite close, but the gaps have opened up compared to what we've seen earlier. Also, the teams championships are extremely close. We have Pescara on 326 points, then H2O Nemeko on 305, Crossfire on 294, and then Razor, who was on the back foot at the start, is now really catching up. They're on 272 points. All 4 teams really have a shot at this title, I think.
Yeah, it's still still pretty close, especially in the team. I mean, Pescara, they have sort of they've extended the gap from the last 2 rounds, especially. But Raise GP, I think I want to keep an eye on because they've just been climbing so much after really starting on back foot. So they're going to be exciting to see. And obviously the drivers, it's close right at the top, but obviously we've had David Junt sort of drop back a little bit after a few not so great rounds. But there's still a half season to go, so anything can still happen. It's still close enough that realistically any of the top 4 could get this title. So it should be an exciting one for the second half of the season.
It really should be, and as we are now on the track, Pedro Gomez is usually the first one out, and today is no change. He will be the first man to settle up with Jack Nichols right behind him, and then Frank Hemming. So it's going to be interesting to see. Track limits, as we see Pedro Gomez, I think, cutting turn 1. Not too sure if that was a cut. I think it was. That is one thing that's going to be very crucial here, because obviously cutting is not allowed in turn 1. It's so hard to get it right. You bounce off those inside curb, and then you get a track extension and you get a 10-slot grip penalty, or even a penalty in the race. Who knows? That is a big thing. I think that's going to play a big role in this race.
Yeah, definitely. Turn 1 is the main one, but also turn 11 going into the stadium section. It's not as bad because if you do go too wide, you'll probably end up in the gravel, so you kind of punish yourself. But it's still a place where they could get it wrong and carry on with that. So it is quite a tricky one to make sure you keep within the limits at all times, but it is important that they do it. So
it really is, and currently have FC graduate, well, not a graduate yet, but he is filling in for in Malta Force, Patrick Rozak. He's doing very good in FC. I'm pretty sure he's 3rd in the standings right now. He's got purple sector 1. Only, 6 tenths off his sector 2, actually. May indicate that he doesn't have as much top speed because Quintay and Frank Hemming are very fast around there. Frank Hemming crosses the line now. Where does he go? He goes to operational pole, 17.7. But there's a lot of times to go. Menopont goes to P2. But we're waiting for Quinte coming across the line, and he gets provisional pole 17.5, but there's only 7 lap times set so far. So a lot can happen.
Yeah, that's yeah. Obviously, the first flurry comes in. Still a long way to go of the session. Just interesting, Rojak there. He actually ended up spinning out turn 1 after setting that time. So maybe still pushing a little bit too hard, but he'd probably just be making his way back to the pits now. Further down, we've got Janus Vulborn from purple sector 2, and pretty good sector 1. Actually faster than Quintai sector 1 as well. It's just come around the final corner now. Let's see what he can do as he crosses the line. He goes provisional pole, 2 tenths in front of Quintai. That's a very good lap.
Yeah, very nice gap they have right now. The fastest lap time we've seen so far is actually 5 thousandths faster than this lap, which was a 17.330 from Pedro Gomez. So Gomez currently in P. I can't even see him on the list. Where is he? Oh, he abandoned this lap. Okay, so he did cut turn 1 then and abandoned this lap as a smart, but he's got a lot of pace in him. As we see Frank Hemming coming. Oh, sorry, this is David Junt. He is on he's on a green lap, nothing purple, but everything green. Gets a little bit of a tire smoke there, and this is a pretty crucial corner. The exit here is so hard to get right. On the acceleration, it's so slippery. And then here, you need to treat this whole complex as one corner, really, as he goes into the pits. Well, thanks, David Junt. That was anticlimactic.
Yeah, just noticed there, Leon Bock, he didn't actually go out right as the session started, and just seen why, because Janus Vulborn, after setting his lap, set Leon up for the slipstream down the back straight. So Leon going now, he's had a pretty good first sector, not purple yet in either of the first 2, but they're still up there. And I don't think I saw anyone else get in the slipstream, so he could still beat the others like Quintai and Hamming as he comes around the final corner now. See what he can do. And he goes P2, only 100th off his teammate's time. So yeah, very good there, and good teamwork there from the Razer GP guys, who as shown by their special livery that they're running today, actually having the car in white. It is their home race, and they're both German drivers as well, so they're probably hoping for a good result here, more than any other race. So
So far
they're setting themselves up for it, yeah. So see what they can do for the rest of the session. As Gomez actually goes P3 there, being able to finally set a lap time. It's good from him. But still, yeah, those Rose GP guys are quite some distance from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, they really are. We know that Gomez is capable of doing this time as well, but it's about getting it. You know, during practice, there's little pressure. You know, if you screw up, there's no repercussions, but you need to be able to pull it out in quali. Liam Bock has just gone for a spin of some sort. Yeah, actually, no, he just went off track to let people by. We're on board with Frank Hemming, who is not faster in Sector 1.
Rojak actually just set a purple Sector 1. Like you said, coming up from FC. There's a few people actually from FC. As Rojak slides around the hairpin a little bit there. Not quite as clean as you would like, but yeah, we've got a few people stepping in today who've been racing in FC. Simon Frelich in the PZZW. Thomas Harvey also in the PZZW. Believe there's more? Or maybe no, there's just them two. Them 3. But yeah, Patrick Rojak, pretty good sector 2, a little bit off the top guy's pace, but still decent.
Yeah, absolutely. And Frank Hemming just sets P2 time. That's impressive. It's the same time on the thousands. Well, actually, it's 1,000 slower on the table, but that is so close between Hemming and Walborn. Bock a tiny bit behind. He's waiting a bit going out now. Quinte gets pole position provisionally, gets a 17.184 purple sector 2. I suspect that there was some slipstreaming going on there.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. Is actually Walborn now on his lap, again doing what they did the first time round, so Leon giving him slipstream. So maybe after this lap they'll leapfrog him, leapfrog Quintai again. Sorry, if I can get my words out. They've set that up probably even better actually than what Leon Bock did the first time around. I think they were a bit too close that time, but Janus got slipstream for the entire straight there, as he's green sector 1, not quite purple, but still looking good.
Yeah, it's so weird seeing them in white, but at least they're distinguishable now from the H2O Namco car. It's a nice livery. They got hashtag home race on their side pods. And let's see what he can do coming across sector 2. He is not green. Oh, and he goes very wide. That is an off track, so he's surely going to abandon his lap. I think he may actually go on to the next lap just to give Buck a slipstream. I think that may be the plan because he's right behind him, letting Opportunity through right there, who is on a okay lap. He's improving in both sectors. Currently P14, so let's see where he can coming out of the very final turn. Clean, not over the curbs too much. And wait, was that an engine failure? Did I see that right? Or no, it wasn't.
Sure I didn't see that, no.
I think it was smoking though, but he was standing still, and now I think Buck is starting his lap, and he's gonna get a slipstream from his teammate. But there are two guys in front of him. There's maybe a double slipstream for Leon Buck.
Yeah, but it's whether Opportunity is gonna be nice. Obviously, Walborn will is his teammate, but Opportunity, he doesn't have to let Leon through, so could actually go badly from there as he is being held up a little bit. But no, Opportunity does. Well, he lets him through, but for Leon, it's not ideal because even something like that will put him off. But Opportunity did the good thing there. He didn't try to hold him up and do anything too dirty.
But it did mean he did get a bit distracted and went a bit wide himself, Leon Buck. So let's see what his sector 2 time will be. It will be a 36.4. It's not even faster than his previous one. So it probably didn't even help him that much, that slipstream, because of that mistake in the end. It's coming drifting across the Vettel corner right now. And into the final complex of turns. He is, I think, on for a slight improvement. I don't think it's going to be enough to beat Quinte, though.
No, at the moment it's looking pretty similar, and he does improve, but only by 0.03 of a second there. So yeah, not the improvement he would have been looking for, but
still 2 places.
Still 2 places, yeah, and there's still 5 minutes of the session. So I'm sure they'll probably go out for one more run. Whether they'll be able to do slipstream, not too sure, but yeah, there's still time in the session to get another lap in.
Yep, we currently are watching Zubinski's green on both sectors of his own time. He only well, it's only 6/10. He's currently 15th and a 6/10 to P1 for him. Sorry, 7/10. So, makes a mistake and goes into the pits immediately. Okay, that's unfortunate. Was on for an improvement, but abandoned the lap because of that mistake at the very end.
Yeah, just trying to keep an eye. I mean, this is the time where a lot of people are on their out laps. So no one's really.
Leonov!
Much
Leonov was on for an improvement as well, and he also makes a mistake in the final complex of turns. Well, it obviously doesn't improve, but that was a scary moment for the Satellite Racing driver. Satellite actually doing pretty well for himself in the standing, currently P5. I'm not too far off. I'd say they are still in the title battle, even though it's going to be very difficult for them because they've got some points to make up. But Leonov has shown that he is capable of winning races. So I'm not excluding them from any chances.
Yeah, obviously they had Sendivaris at the start who helped a lot in kind of building up their points. And so they've dropped off a little bit since he stopped racing, but yeah, they're still in with a chance. Quintar as well, I should say, is going around to cross his finish now, and he actually improves there.
Wow.
By 1.5 tenths. So just made the job even more difficult for the Razor TV boys to beat that. As Leon Bock is still in the pit lane. Jonas Ulborn going around on his out lap now to set what will probably be his final time of the session.
I just saw David Junt. George Whitehouse having a bit of an issue with his teammate there, but it seems to all go well. David Junt just improved to a 17.664, which is P10 on the grid. Not something he would likely be happy about. George Whitehouse crosses the line and he goes up to P9, jumping Junt as well. So good lap by Whitehouse. We've been used to seeing him up front, and I think, unless he's got enough fuel for another lap, that pretty sure this will be his last qualifying lap, purely because the tire wear is so big around, especially around the quali lap. But we do currently have Leon Buck on an out lap. I think he's on an out lap, and I think they will try to do another slipstream as Walborn is right ahead of him.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised actually because Woolborn was setting up for a flying lap, but actually Leon exited the pits too late to be able to give him slipstream. So I think they've both now backed off, and I'm not sure what they're going to do. Whether they'll just give one person slipstream for the final lap and leave the other one out, but because they won't have time to do 2 laps. So
A driver who
interesting to
has
see.
a driver who has really impressed me as well is Thomas Harvey. He's really it took him a while to get up to speed, but he's really proven that he is really really fast. And now here he is currently in P5, and well, he's already green in sector one. The hairpin didn't look that clean. But I'm not sure. Maybe drifting across that turn is faster. I know, for example, in Montreal, drifting, if you can get it right, drifting across those hairpins can even be faster. But it is very tricky to get right. So let's see what he does in Sector 2. Indeed, doesn't improve. So if he improves, he needs 2 tenths to gain one position. But look behind him. Within a tenth, there's about, what is that, 6 drivers within just 1 tenth?
Yeah, there's a lot of people there that could. Well, yeah, if he don't improve and they improve even by 1/10, then he'll drop down to P9 almost. So,
Oh,
as he actually
yep.
spins out there on his final lap. So that's the end of the session for him. He won't be improving, like I said.
Well, he did improve. He did improve to
Oh,
a,
he
it
did.
wasn't
Oh,
turn
sorry.
one.
I was,
He did a
yeah, I didn't notice that.
17.349
Yeah,
and
he
then
did.
spin around turn one, and that is the end, which isn't a bad thing because I think it would have been the end either way. And now we have Leon Bach on a lap. He is green in sector one, which is a very good sign, obviously. Now, did he get a slipstream? I think
No. So I think they've just both gone on flying laps on their own. As Frank Hamming actually
Frank,
just
yeah.
jumped up to P2, and he does have time for another lap. It's whether his tyres, like I said, will survive that and still give him the performance he needs.
The tires
Uh,
get so hot around this final sector that I think doing
well,
2 laps after each other is very
he did
hard.
just set the purple sector one there, Frank. So
Oh,
maybe
I
they
said
are still
nothing.
fine. Bullborn did not improve, but Leon Bock jumps up to
Ooh.
P2.
Oh, he
Uh,
jumps. Yeah, he jumps Frank
yeah,
Hamming. Great lap by him. Didn't even get a slipstream. Alessandro Quinte, though, sets purple sector 1. So it's probably between Frank Hamming and Alessandro Quinte here. Whole shootout. Gonna see if Quinte gets a slipstream. Ooh, did he get a slipstream? He did not get a slipstream. So it's gonna be hard to improve on that sector 2. As we're gonna see Frank Hamming coming across the sector 2 point. Will he go faster? Yes, he is green. This could very well be the pole for Frank Hemming, even without a slipstream, if I'm right. Ooh, drifts across that turn. Doesn't look that fast, but you know what they say, the slower it looks, the faster it is. Coming across the final 2 turns here. A lot of smoke coming from the tires. But I think this is a very good lap here. Ooh, it doesn't look very fast to be honest, but it is. Yeah, it is fast, but not fast enough.
yep. So P2 Quintai, his sector 2 wasn't so great, so he might not actually improve even with that purple sector 1. Like you said, not having the slipstream this time won't help, and he
Oh,
spins out the final corner. As I say that, so he won't be improving. But for now, at least, as I don't think there's anyone else on a flying lap that will
no.
challenge.
Woburn has abandoned it. Yep.
So that is the end of the session with Quintal and Paul. It's very close between him and Frank at the end there. I was kind of a bit of a surprise to be honest, because the two racers were looking very quick from the start, but they've locked out the second row, so it's still a good place for them for the race.
It
Uh,
really is. So we have Quinte on pole, which is not an unusual sight we've had this year. Frank Hemming P2, Leon Buck P3. So that's our main 3 championship rivals, all starting in top 3 positions. Yannis Walborn right behind them with Thomas Harvey P5. Very impressive. Gomez P6 on an upward trajectory. Matteo Caremaker's making up P7, Menoclon P8. Both of those we didn't really talk about, but they've done a great job. Separated by just 7,000 of each other. With George Wildhouse in P9 and teammate of Quinte, Adriano Aubergini rounding out the top 10 positions. And if you exclude the top 3, the whole field, except for Mark Fuller at the end, was within a second. That just really shows how close this qualifying is and how close all these short tracks really are. We had Hungary, which was extremely close, Montreal, which was even closer. And now again, basically the whole field within about a second.
yeah, that's just the whole year. Maybe it's not been the whole grid, but it's been very close with all the drivers for the whole year. It just shows, I think, one, how talented they are, but also how closely talented they are with each other. which has led to this pretty exciting season. So yeah, it's good to see, and yeah, it shows that anyone can really do well here, and we've had a few surprises over the season because of that.
Absolutely, yeah. A few guys that would not probably be happy would be David John starting from P11. Dziubinski also usually is the guy to go on a alternate strategy. He's currently P12, but he can also be very good. I think he got a double podium back in Silverstone, if I remember right. Leonov back then. There's a lot of good names on this grid. We have Rozak on P14. We have Cardos on P15. All these guys could easily have gotten a top 10 qualifying, but they did not, unfortunately. Frelick in his first Supercup race, if I'm right, P16. Then we have Jack Nichols, Dabrowski, Philip Koenig, Rajkovic, Vicentovic, Galka, Richards, Pedersen, Denkel, and Mark Fuller, and the rest have just left the game. So I do not know. But a lot of big names in the top 15, in particular, let's say top 20. All of these guys could do really well. It's all about that race pace, really, now.
Yep, and actually, think about what you said there with David Young. I think P11 for him might honestly be perfect, because from what I've seen from him, he's not always the best on his tyre wear, and this race is going to be quite tricky on that, with 33 laps in the feature race, and the sprint race even 22 laps is quite a long one. So for him, he might actually be quite happy with that, because being outside the top 10, he can pick what tyres he wants to start on, and yeah, it gives him the chance to go on the alternate strategy, which might help him in terms of tyre wear. But we'll have to wait and see on that. And obviously everyone behind him as well, obviously can also pick what tyres they want to start on. So yeah, we could see some interesting strategies here.
He is currently going out on the soft tires, so that may indicate he is going for the softs. But something else we should talk about in a second as I load up the page is penalties. I'm not sure if there's too much penalties. I'm going to look right now because that's obviously quite an important thing. So we have Galka with a 20-slot grid demotion. We have Liam Rans actually with a race ban, which is why he has been replaced. Matt Richards with a 10-slot grid demotion. Thomas Harvey, unfortunately, also a 10-slot grid demotion. So the guy that did a great job in qualifying P5 will get set back to P15. Unfortunate for him, but he's shown that he's got the pace, so he can do it in the race. I'm sure he can get some places back. Vicentovic 10-slot grid demotion, and that is about actually Patrick Rozak also has a 10-slot grid demotion. So we'll see the grid shuffled a tiny bit, but at the front, except for Thomas Harvey, it will pretty much stay the same.
Yeah, like I say, it's a bit of a shame to see there with especially Harvey, but it's he's still in a position where he can fight, and if he's got that pace, then obviously he can try and make his way through, which could, at least for us, I'm sure for him, he won't care about the excitement, but for us, it could lead to some good battles for the cameras. So yeah, be good to see.
It really will. So I don't think there's any rain predicted for tonight. So let's have a small little rundown of how the races will go. We have race 1, which is 33 laps, and there is a mandatory pit stop if it is dry. And it is dry, so you need to pit for tires and need to use both compounds. So 33 laps of that, and I think it could actually be kind of tricky to make the tires last longer than, let's say, 14 laps. I think that could be a real difficulty for a lot of people. I think we could even see 2 stops here because the tire wear is just that high. Race 2 is 22 laps, and you don't have to do any pit stops, though I expect we could also see 2 stops there, doing double soft or anything of the likes. But it's not that hard to overtake here, so I think a lot of alternate strategies will be possible.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, the tyre wear here, especially on that front left, will be quite high. So yeah, some people might struggle. Some people, like I said, might go for 2 stops. And that should spice things up a bit. Like I say, with it also being relatively easy to overtake here with that long DRS straight. It should be an exciting race to see just on the strategy front.
Really should be. just saw on the camera coming out of the hairpin, it was a Crossfire giving a little kiss to a Pescara. Coming out of the hairpin, his back stepped out and he hit the Pescara. That looked funny. Anyway, we are for a break right now. A real small break. The race is about to start in 5 minutes, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with you for race 1 of Supercup in Germany. Welcome back, everybody. We are about to get underway for race 1 of the German Grand Prix over at Hockenheim. We have everyone, or a lot of people at least, doing their race runs, final feeling they can get with this car. The race director starting a bit unusually early with his briefing, but it is already started. So we currently have them drivers doing the race run, and Chunt is currently fast with Van der Voort second. Could indicate that they have good race pace, but then again, it doesn't really say anything.
Yeah, I see in this warm-up session, people, well, see, they're going to be practicing for the race, but some people don't bother doing laps at all, some take it a bit more seriously, and yeah, it's quite difficult to tell just from the warm-up session what the actual race pace will be like. But Thomas Harvey just went quicker, actually, so whether it meant much or not, I'm sure he'll be happy with that.
Yeah. It's always nice seeing yourself in P1.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter
But
when or where.
Exactly. What is more telling though with the session is the tyres people are on. So David Junt was on the soft tyres, I think, for that whole session.
Mm-hmm.
But just looking at the people that are going to be starting lower down the grid, there's a lot of the yellow striped mediums.
Cardos was on it.
Yeah, there's can't remember exactly who, but yeah, there was quite a lot of them. So maybe, yeah, quite a lot of people just wanting to try the alternate strategy and see what they could do with that.
Yep. And it's going to be very interesting to see if there is going to be a big DRS train or if there will be people that break loose from it. Historically, in the Supercup, we've seen that there are clusters really of. There's not really been one big train. It's always been like top 3, then another 5 people, and another 3 people. So it depends on in which group you really are. How well you really do in this race, because it's so hard to pause if you're behind 4 cars which all have DRS and slipstream.
Yep, but for the people on the mediums, it could help them quite a lot if they get stuck in a train, because could keep them kind of dragging along with the people on the softs that should be faster, and then it allows them, once they're on the softs, to be on the faster tyre and use that to their advantage. So be interested to see if that sort of thing happens. Yeah.
We are currently underway for the formation lap. Quinte picks up another pole position. I've lost count how many you've got this year, but a lot. Frank Hemming lining up behind him with Leon Bach in P3 in his beautiful white one-off livery for Razor. Top 3 of the championship is top 3 in qualifying over here. Then we have teammate of Leon Bach, Jens Walborn, right behind him. Pedro Gomez getting promoted to P5 after Harvey's penalty. P6 is from Matteo Caremakers, who is always getting the reverse grip pole, either that or David Junt, so keep that in mind. Menno Klont, P7 right behind him, not historically known to do well in quali, so he's going to be happy with that P7, I'm sure, as I know he was struggling, so this is very good for him. George Whitehouse on P8, Opacini on P9, and then we get to the first guys who can do a reverse strategy. David Junt on P10, opting for the softs. Tubinski is the first guy to go on medium tires in P11, with Leonov doing the same behind him. Then Cardos also all doing the same. Harvey in P14 didn't have a choice. Got demoted from P5 because of a penalty, so he's starting on the softs. So is Scott Mitchell, Tom van der Voort, and Simon Frelick behind him is starting on the mediums. Then we have Jack Nichols on P18. Had an unfortunate round last time round because of the rain, and now I'm sure he's looking to redeem himself in dry Germany. Dabrowski in P19, starting from the pit lane, actually. I'm not sure if there's an issue there or if this is planned. We have Philip Koenig in P20, Rajkovic P21 with Rozak in P22 in a beautiful Meltaforce. Craig Patterson in P23, Dan Kell behind him with Mark Fuller, Vicendovic, Matt Richards, Ben Willis, and running out the grid, it's Mikael Gelka, who had a hefty penalty, as well as not qualifying very high up. So he is running out the grid. So we have one guy starting from the pit lane, interestingly. Do you think this is planned?
I think it could be. P19, it's always going to be a hotspot for incident. And I think we saw in the FC race there was there was a decent sized incident, I think, on that one, from what I remember. So yeah, could just be wanting to avoid all that. Maybe feeling like giving up those. I mean, 10 positions is quite a lot to give up, but maybe feels like being able to survive lap 1 is more important than that. as he is exiting the pit lane now. Has Thomas
Yep.
Harvey actually just seen gone to the pit lane?
Oh, that's interesting.
See if it was because of an incident maybe, or if he just decided to.
Anyway, the lights are going out there. We have 4 lights already on and 5 lights out, and we're underway. Seems like a good start from Leon Bach. Quinte, oh, he's gonna go around the outside of Hemming, and he's going wide. Hemming around the inside, and he gets the position, it seems like, unless Quinte can manage to get it out. No, it's Hemming that gets the position, but now it's gonna be a big old slipstream here for Quinte, and this both Walborn and Bach are fighting. Walborn has gotten ahead of Bach in all that scrap.
Yeah, it's been a crash behind David John. He's got no front wing. He's down to P26.
Ooh.
Patrick Rojak without a rear wing. Quite a few damaged cars there from P22
Quinte
downwards.
making a move back onto Hemming, so the order has been changed slightly. It's Quinte still leading for Hemming, and then it's Walborn and Bach that have exchanged positions. Opportunity making up positions, going on the outside of George Whitehouse here, taking the inside and gets the position. So, except for the incident we had at the start, it has been a pretty clean start. Thomas Harvey has not come out. Thomas Harvey's still in the pit lane. He is retired.
Actually, I checked what happened. It looks like it could have been some sort of hardware thing, because he didn't crash or anything. He just pulled over and escaped to pit lane. So unfortunate for him. Also interesting, Dabrowski, who started from the pit lane, of course. He still managed to get caught up in an incident at turn. And lost his front wing, so that that choice didn't pay off for him. Like I say, it's P22 downwards have all got damage and going to be pitting, which is obviously not what we want to see.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it. So as we see that, I'm not sure if that was a track extension, but we had Ziobinski. It's so close around turn 1 all the time, and it can get looked into, so you need to be really careful, otherwise you could get a hefty penalty if that's the case. So here we see a 3-man DRS train. Ooh, behind there's a lot happening. Klont gets overtaken by Opacini. Cardas around the inside, hits the curb a bit. I'm not sure what happened behind there. I think that's a Rowan there battling it out. George Whitehouse now looking around the outside and inside of Cardas, but can't make a move stick. So biggest winners of this start. No one really gained a lot of positions except Opacini, who started P9, is now in P7, and Walborn obviously won a position. But other than that, stayed about the same, I would say.
Yep, from the top at least, obviously we had David John starting
Ooh,
P10
spin out!
Ooh.
Who's that? Is that Scott Mitchell? Ooh, who's that? That's Craig Patterson, is it? Oh, it's Scott Mitchell. I was right. Unfortunately for Scott Mitchell, he spun. I think he got a bit on the grass there and managed to lose it, but he didn't lose that much time. Lost about 7 positions actually, as we see another spinner, Dankel, already pit for a new front wing. And this is a horrible race for Dankel so far. But he's still driving. So is Quinte, leading the race.
Watching that, actually, it was actually a very nice. Well, no spin is nice for the driver, but it was quite a nice spin from Scott Mitchell there. Did well not to cause any incident with it in that part of the track. So yeah, he just lost some positions, and I'm sure his tyres won't be happy. But apart from that, he actually did all right.
I mean, if you get a spin, at least make it nice. It's now Jack Nichols. Oh, there's a big train there actually behind. Jack Nichols gets overtaken by Craig Patterson. There's a lot of cars in this battle here. How many is that? Like 10? That's an insane amount of cars. Simon Frelick trying to get a look on the outside, but there's no space there. So 1 position gain for Craig Patterson, who is looking to win a 3-second margin up until Van der Voort to catch him as well.
Yeah, we're going quite hard at it there. The front, not much has changed. It's still, I mean, it's now actually the top 6 sort of pulling away.
Dankel has spun again. This is a disastrous weekend for him so far. I think he spun every lap so far. There's only been 2 laps, granted. Frelick is off. Frelick is in the middle of the track, actually. That's not what you want. I'm not sure what happened there.
Just like Frelick and Koenig came together at the final corner. I saw Koenig was off the track. He managed to keep the car in a straight line and carry on, losing a lot of positions though. So yeah, obviously Frelick got off a little bit worse from that. But yeah, and also with Dankel, I'd imagine, I think he was one of the more damaged cars from the start. So it could just be that even, you know, repairing the front wing stuff isn't enough, as that Mark Fuller is
Oh,
exploring at the hairpin from what I saw, going on the oh, got into contact with a PLS there, Zubinski, in the breaker zone at the hairpin, and he just couldn't slow it down in time. That's not what you want to see, but luckily both would have got away with that with minimal damage.
yep, and we're currently looking at a battle for P19 between Ben Willis and Philip Koenig. Sorry, no, that's Mark Fuller, battle for P18. Ooh, Ben Willis tries to do it there. That's an impossible overtaking spot, I would say. And he locks up the tires. It's not going to be healthy for the tire life of those. We still have the entire top 6 in DRS. Opportuni has unfortunately not got DRS anymore. But behind that, there's a small DRS train again. As I said, there's clusters of people, really. And it's showing here again.
Yeah, so I was going to say, actually, it's interesting that it's the top 6 of this race actually were able to stick with each other. Like you said at the start, normally it's the top 3, maybe 4, are all kind of pulling away, but no. Gomez and Kia's Makers are just about keeping up. Kia's Makers actually dropping back a little bit more now, but I think he's just about still within the second.
Menno Klont has just been passed by Damien Cardas. Not sure where that happened. Must have been the hairpin. We didn't see it on the broadcast, but Cardas gains up another position. And good point in the YouTube comments. Cardas has made up quite a bit of positions. He started back in P13. He's currently in 8th. So really good job by him. Seems to be very comfortable on race pace.
Yeah, and also actually he is the highest placed person on the medium tyres. Unfortunately with this overtake, it's actually allowed Opportuni to pull away a little bit. But if Cardas can stay within the DRS, he could do what I was saying about in warm-up, where if he could just stay with him on the medium in the DRS, it gives him a great opportunity in the second stint when he'll be on the faster tyres. And right now, he's just about able to do that. So this could work really well for Cardas this race. And as I say that, I think he's actually just... Oh no, he forgot to use the DRS. He does still have it though. As actually it's... First of all, I'll say actually, is that Janus Fulborn and Hamming having a battle at the hairpin?
There's a lot of battles going on.
So they were swapping places there, but yeah, Cardas there, DRS was kind of flickering down the straight. Not quite able to keep it on the whole time, which was interesting. Maybe some harder issue. Got George Whitehouse and Menno Klont battling there. Tom van der Voort and Leonov as well behind, I think we're having a bit of a battle. So yep, there's a lot going on right now.
A lot, yeah.
Difficult to keep up. But yeah, at the front, I think that was Janus Fulborn going for a move on Hamming at the head, and it didn't quite pull off. But it shows that he's still there, he's still close, and it has also allowed Gomez and Kia's Makers to close in a bit more to keep this pack together. So, yep, still got a fight at the front, even if it's the gaps aren't kind of right on each other. They're still close enough to make moves.
Yep, the DRS train is still six people long, 6 cars long. As we see Walborn here getting the slipstream of Frank Hemming. No, oh, actually, Quinte moving quite a bit ahead of Hemming, but the DRS not going to help. I think if Quinte gets a good lap, then that could very well be, you know, with a lap he clears DRS. And that means trouble for Frank Hemming, as we see Hemming's teammate get past there. Whitehouse getting past Klont successfully this time. Moves up a position. Klont seems to be struggling on race pace, and he is actually on the softer tires. But so is George Whitehouse, so that's no excuse.
Yeah, like I say, maybe he's just not quite feeling it around this track. Because behind him, I was going to say Tom van der Voort. I can't quite remember where he qualified, but we saw in the warm-up, if it is anything to go by, he had good race pace, and he is not too far behind. And Leonov as well behind him on those medium tyres. So, yeah, interesting to see. Maybe just Menno not quite able to have the pace of the guys in front. Speaking of which, Cardas is still within the DRS zone of Opportuni and was able to use it successfully down the straight there. And Whitehouse behind him isn't. So, yeah, this could work really well for Cardass if he's able to pull away from the people behind while still being on the slower tyre.
It was pretty close though. Opportunity really needs to stay in that DRS zone, as we have a battle going on for P15, Galka and Scott Mitchell. Mitchell had that unfortunate spin earlier, wouldn't have been good for his tires, but he's still going strong, no damage if I recall correctly. But he just got overtaken by Mitchell Galka, who fought his way back into the points. Or at a point, ooh, there's a spin behind there. That is, who is that? It's the Frelick. It's Rozek. Frelick is not driving for Multiforce, but unfortunate spin. Was quite far. He was a lap down actually. He was matching it up with the front runners, but had a spin. Ooh, that's a mistake from Galka, and could give Mitchell an opportunity there. There's a lot of smoke. Is that another spinner in front? No, it's not. Just bad tire wear. A lot of smoke. People not kind on the tires. I wonder if it's gonna do anything for the strategy, as we have Matt Richards, who has just DNF'd, being the 4th retirement after Thomas Harvey, who didn't even start the race, probably because of mechanical issues. Mihailo Jevgentovic after that lap 1 incident. Dankel, yeah, well, I would have given up in his position as well. And then we have Matt Richards, who just pulled into the pits. Bad round for Zensho. Unfortunate for them.
Yep. Obviously, they had a great time out in Silverstone, at least. Or was it Matt Richards? I can't remember which one it was. But one of them having a great race, getting, I believe, P5 in race 2. But yeah, start of this hasn't gone too well, but still race 2 where they can make up some points. Also, just seeing at the front, the gap has now formed between, Quintana and Hamming kind of pulling away from the group behind, with Ulborn and Bock and Gomez and Kiersmakers. So, yeah, maybe those top 2 just having the better race pace, and the Rose GP guys just not quite able to do it. I think they're just about within DRS, but it's been very close the last few laps. This time around, one doesn't have it, so maybe they'll try and go for a driver swap this time, this lap, to get Leon Bock in front, and maybe see if he has the pace.
Well, it seems like it won't be voluntarily. I think he's just going to go on it on his own. Gap us 310s and doing a lot with slipstream and DRS. And I think obviously Woburn won't make it too difficult here. Bock seems to have more pace. Goes to the side, breaks early, and that's the position swap done. Ooh, well, be careful that Gomez doesn't go for a position there. But yeah, we have a position swap at the front, and now the starting positions are exactly the same as we started. Literally between the top 6, nothing changed.
Yeah, but yeah, as yeah, good to see from the Razor boys there, keeping it or being sensible with that. Look further down, Cardass has dropped back a little bit from Opportunity, so he's not quite been able to stick within a slipstream, and it has allowed George Whitehouse to close in a decent amount, so he might be looking to make some moves, as Menno Klont has been dropping back. Tom van der Voort quite been able to close up to him. The gap I think is around the same, so yeah, maybe in the mid-pack it's all kind of spacing out a little bit, but from what's that piece, 16, 17, 18, or 15, 16, 17, sorry, are all pretty close still, so might get some good battles there.
And Bock is now back in DRS race. He's only took 1 lap, and he's already got DRS of Frank Hamming again. Seems like he's got a lot of pace. Maybe he has gotten more opportunity to save his tires in this group than Woburn has, though that wouldn't really make sense. But Bock maybe, a bit better on those tires, and now gets to attack. Frank Hamming got a little bit of wheel spin coming out of the hairpin under the nice race view board. Great program if you want to see your lap times on any server, well, not any server that's on that website that pays for the subscription. We have still the top 6, Quinte, Hamming, Bock, Woburn, Gomez, and Kiersmakers. Then a big gap to Opportunity. Big mistake from Hamming. It's not really that costly if you get onto that gravel. However, if you get a bit too much throttle or go a bit too far, it could be very disastrous for your race.
Yeah, just going on it itself, you won't necessarily lose much time, but yeah, it's more just the risk that you take of your car just suddenly losing grip, and at that point of the track, you become a little bit of a passenger if your car does decide to lose grip. So yeah, it's not something you'd want to do consistently. And actually, yeah, Leon Bott, he was close a lot, and even Walborn is only just within the DRS. So maybe, yeah, maybe Leon's just been able to keep his tyres in better shape and fighting Yanis a little bit now. Can't quite keep up. He's still got DRS this lap, but it looks like it won't be long before he loses that. And that will allow Gomez to potentially close in on him.
I'm expecting potentially the first stop to come around this lap. Walborn has dropped off in lap time massively, so I think he could do well to get a pit stop in this lap and do an undercut, because he's just gonna keep losing time, and I don't think Gomez is gonna enjoy that, and neither is Keersmakers. So we're gonna have to see if he does go into the box this lap. Undercut could be very strong. We're not too sure if it really is. And he does not go for the pits yet. In fact, no one does. So pit stops will have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, one interesting thing with that actually is if they did go for a pit stop now, as he gets Yanis there, gets very lively over the curb at turn 1, did well to keep that under control. Yeah, if they were to pit now, do you think they'd be trying it out on a one-stop, or do you think that would be two-stop territory? Because we've still got obviously 2/3 of the race to go, so I think it'd be difficult for them to make the tyres last.
I think it will be difficult, but I think it's not impossible. 20 laps on those mediums, if you done 13 on the softs, should be possible. It will be hard, but not impossible, I think. So I think it could be done. If you really want the undercut here, I think especially if you're either Walborn, Gomez, or Keersmakers, because Keersmakers seems to be dropping off a tiny bit as well. Walborn is now officially out of the DRS. So there's two groups now, the top 3 and the 3 after that, and then there's a big gap between Opportuni and Cardas. Actually, Cardas is catching Opportuni, if I'm right. Ooh, wait,
Yeah,
hold
I
up.
don't know if something happened that last lap, because Cardas, they had a pretty big gap between them there, but Cardas has closed in a lot.
Opportunity made a mistake in sector 2, which has allowed him, Cardas, to move up right up his tail. And now, well, there's another 3-man group that will all have DRS back in 7th to 9th position.
Yep, it's the race of 3s at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, the 3 cars is just about enough to class it as a DRS train, and unfortunately it means that no moves are too easy to make. So it's the sort of thing where they'll probably end up staying like that till the pit stops. Speaking of which, Scott Mitchell is the first person to go in on what I'd say is a planned pit stop off those soft tyres. Ben Willis follows him in as well. Down in P18, I think Scott was when he pit. Probably not having loads to lose, so maybe trying out the undercut, see if it works really well. And if he does, he could potentially fire himself up into the points positions.
Yeah, it didn't look like the fast stop maybe had damaged enabled, potentially. But he comes back in P20 on the mediums. His teammate Jack Nichols now under pressure from Ziubinski. Nichols started on those yellow tires, so he'll be going for a little while longer.
Yep, at the front, Quintai is just pit, as Walborn and Keersmakers following him in as well.
Interesting. So lap 14 is then the sweet spot. Quinte comes into the pits, gets a pit stop done, doesn't get blocked by anyone. No undercuts happening here. Nope. Everyone gets out in their respective positions. And there we go. Everyone underway. Now it's going to be interesting to see what can Frank Hemming do and where does Quinte get out. He gets out in kind of clean air. Not too much because there's a guy in front of him about a second. And actually, he might not be able to pass him soon enough, so he might get blocked a little bit by Craig Pedersen. However, doesn't seem too bad. Theo Keersmakers comes out in a bit more active field. Comes right behind Jack Nichols, who we just mentioned, and then Ziubinski right behind him. Ziubinski has a lot of top speed. Actually, could this be a 3-wide move for P11? No, but Keersmakers does make the move, and Ziubinski breaks lane, now breaks himself. Nichols can now do the switchback. They're side by side, but a lot of wheel spin prevents Jack Nichols from trying anything else, and loses 2 positions in the spin of 1 corner. Good move from Ziubinski. Moves up to P12. Actually, stays P12.
Well, that was going on as well. Cardas and Opportunity were battling out there, touching a little bit in turn 11, which is not the sort of corner where you want that to happen, but
Bok.
they made it through cleanly. Leon Bok and Gomez pits, yeah.
So this is going to be
Uh,
interesting to see. Where can Bok and where can Gomez get out? Because obviously Quinte is now being blocked a bit by Pedersen, who pulls into the pits now. So, Bok coming out of the pits now. I think Quinte has got this, but it might be a bit close. Quinte across the finish now. And there comes Bok. Ooh, actually, Bok has got the side by side. No, Quinte has got it, but now Bok may have DRS. Ooh, Bok breaks actually really early, so that may prevent him from going for any move around Quinte's sides. But Walborn has fallen a long way. Gomez, same thing. Keersmakers has gained a tiny bit by pitting earlier. So it seems like pitting early is the way to go here, which makes me scared for Frank Hemming, who's still going strong together with Damien Cardos and Menno Klont.
Yeah, I think it's interesting menu for Frank. Obviously, Cardos starting on his mediums. Expect him to go quite some way, and yeah, Menno as well. Certainly didn't seem to have the pace. Maybe he's trying to counteract that with going long and then maybe having fresh mediums at the end. Fight with.
He's in the pits now.
As Frank does pit. So Cardas is going to take the lead here for Gallery 82. But obviously, being on the alternate strategy, that's to be expected. And Menno Klump pits as well.
So about the halfway point, lap 16, lap 17. They need to do 17 laps on the mediums now, which seems like unevenly divided. So Frank Hemming drives away from the pit box now. There comes another club. They're doing a double stack, even though there's quite a bit of time between. And Quinte gets ahead of Frank Hemming. So does Leon Bach, which is expected because the overcut doesn't work. Walborn gets right behind Hemming and takes the DRS. So this overcut hasn't seemed to work yet, but now he's got fresher tires. Let's see what he can do with it. But first, he will have to defend from Jannis Walborn, whose DRS got a lot of speed and he's right behind him. Hemming goes defensive. Walborn still takes the inside. It's going to be very difficult to defend this. Hemming may have just lost the position in the pit stops. Tries to switch back, and it will work because Walborn goes wide. They're still side by side through the small right-hander here, full speed. It's going to be interesting to see who dares to break the latest. So close between each other. Walborn really doesn't want to lose this position. Either does Frank Hemming there on the outside. Frank Hemming on the curb. And this may give Gomez a chance. No, it won't. So it's Walborn who gets the position. Clean, fair fighting there. And Frank Hemming losing a position.
Yeah, that was very close there at points. And yeah, it just, that call did not work out for Frank to go longer on those soft tyres. Maybe he wasn't too sure about his tyre wear on the mediums, but yeah, that hasn't worked out. And I think with the 1 or 2 lap difference, I don't think those fresh mediums are going to massively help him as much as it would for, say, Cardas being on the soft tyres versus them on the mediums. So, yeah, hasn't quite worked out. And the main thing really is that it's allowed Bok and Quintai to really kind of run away with this. At the moment, looking like the main two that are going to battle it out for the win. As Bok maybe feigning some moves to try and put Quintai off in the braking zone, but not quite close enough to go for any moves yet.
Well, talking about going for moves, Frank Hemming and Walborn added once again. Hemming really wants to get past. Now tries to go for the inside. Gets a bit of slipstream, brakes later. No, he does not. Will be a very daring move to do it there, and he doesn't. But he's really trying to battle it out and really trying to get this position back. And honestly, it is, it's really difficult to overtake here, even though. Oh, yeah.
It's made less difficult there when Jannis Walborn ran wide at turn 11. He's able to defend there because obviously that hairpin is cambered quite a bit. But yeah, Frank really seems to want this. I noticed he was moving a lot, switching this way and that, trying to find any sort of gap to get past Jannis Walborn, but it hasn't worked just yet. And all of that has allowed Pedro Gomez right onto the back of them as well, or at least even closer than he was before.
Walborn doing a big favor for Walborn doing a big favor for Bok here, rather. Absolutely letting Quinte and Bok walk away with this. There's only 14 laps to go, and it's gonna be Oh, actually, Hemming is ahead of him now. Hemming has just passed him. I was daydreaming. Warborn tries to break late, but doesn't get the shot. Switchback attempted. Doesn't get alongside. Move made by Hemming, I assume, unless Warborn does a hero move, dive around the inside here, which I doubt he will. Position gain now. The gap has extended to 3.4 seconds.
Yeah, that was yeah, nice move from Frank. But like you say, it's helped out Bok and Quintaya a lot because they're actually catching up to Ivan Leonov on those medium tyres that he started the race on. Hoping that he doesn't hold them up too much. And Damien Cardas from the lead is now pitting off of his mediums. Leonov stays out though. So Cardas going on to the soft. Be interested to see where he comes out. Because he was in a battle with George Whitehouse before all the pit stops, who is currently P9. It's actually passed Opportuni, who he was behind before the pits, so something happened there.
We're going to have a lead change any minute, even though it's not a provisional lead change. Damien Cardas comes back in P10, but Leonov, he's going to be attacked from behind. That's not... never mind, I didn't say that. He's going to be overtaken by Quinte around the inside. Breaks lay. Ooh, slight contact, but that's fine. That's wheel banging. And Quinte gets the position back. Now Bok needs to go right back at him, but he doesn't. So this could be big for Quinte. He got ahead. Bok is still behind, at least for 1.5 more sectors. So all this time, Quinte will have to expand on this lead that Bok will be stuck behind Leonov for.
Yeah, this could help Quintaya a lot. Also, just looking behind there, I had to close my eyes for a second because going into the hairpin, you had Whitehouse and Opportunity going side by side. Cardas behind on those fresh softs, seemingly out, or maybe not realising how early the two in front would have to brake, almost running into the back of them. But luckily, they all made it through cleanly. And yeah, Cardas himself, obviously, he lost the position-wise to the two cars in front, but he's on those soft tyres and should make quite easy work of the two cars in front.
Leonov now into the pits, so Bok lost quite a bit, 1.5 seconds behind Quinte, but Hemming won a lot. He's out of DRS from Walborn, and he's only 1.2 behind Bok, so he needs to push now and get into the DRS, and then Bok needs to do the same. Leonov pitting, as we said, Siabinski pitting, Jack Nichols pitting. Those are all the last guys on those softs, on those mediums, sorry, switching to softs and going to get an overtaking race for the last few remainder of laps, 13 laps to go. And at the front, well, not the front, Cardas now pedaling it out with Whitehouse at Opportunity, 3 wide through the hairpin. Whitehouse surrenders. Ooh, contact Opportunity. Oh, run into the back of Cardas, and this allows Whitehouse through again. Whitehouse still on those mediums. He did pit in lap 13. So he's got one of the oldest mediums here. Lets Cardas by. Well, doesn't let him by, but has no other choice. Cardas so much faster on those softs. Now it's going to be Opportunity versus Whitehouse. Cardas, first guy on this alternate strategy.
Yeah, that was got a bit close at the hairpin. Too close, I'm sure, for what they would have liked. But yeah, they all made it through cleanly. And, well, not cleanly, sorry. They all made it through without too much damage. And yeah, Cardas will be interested to see. I mean, there's a 10-second gap to the group in front. So that might be a bit too much for him to close in by. But he's on the softer tyres and he's got 12 laps to go. So there's a decent chance he can at least close in.
I'm talking about closing in. Oh, I try to do these transitions so smoothly, man. I'm so good. I'm getting good at it. Bok is now in DRS as Walborn and Gomez are fighting. Gomez around the outside. He's going to pull Vettel. So tries to get the move around the outside, but not able to do it. But at the front, Bok has really gained on Quinte and is now back in DRS, for now at least. Hemming has not been able to follow quite as well, 1.5 seconds behind. But if Quinte manages to hold up Bok a bit, we could be back for a 3-way fight for the win, after all.
Yeah, as Walborn running very wide there at turn 11 once again. Yeah, this... I mean, Walborn obviously held up Frank quite a lot start of the stint, but Frank seems to have the pace to close in, like you said. Could get quite tasty for the end. Is that a lapped car in front? Yep, David Young in front. Obviously down in P23 after getting caught up in the lap 1 collision.
We just saw Jack Nichols overtaking Willis for P18 on those fresh softs. Sibinski also on those fresh softs. So is Galga, if I'm right. They're all going to be looking to make up those positions that they've lost, staying out for way longer than their competitors. But at the front, as you said, yeah, Quinte and Buck are so close, and I remember last year in Super League we had Jeffrey Fournier leading the whole race, or at least a big part of it. And then in the last 3 laps, basically everyone opted to stay behind him and then overtook him when his tires were dead. They're just saving tires. I wonder if Buck will do the same or if he will attack the first chance he gets. Who will attack is Tom Vandervoort. He's just made the move on Clant, or is it Clant defending? I think it's Clant actually attacking and Vandervoort defending. Clant tries to fake down the inside, but doesn't make it work. So those two have really met a lot on track this year, have they, Josh?
Yeah, they have. I remember, I think the first time you said they already had some sort of beef going into it, and yeah, they really have come together, or not come together physically, but they've had quite a few good battles this year. And yeah, it looks like it was Menno trying to make the move, but I think he just put the throttle down a bit too hard, coming out there, spun his wheels up a little bit too much, and wasn't able to get the traction that he needed. But there's another lap now, and maybe they'll keep this battle going.
I think Buck may be able to go for a move here. It's going to be very close at least. He goes around the outside of Quinte. Brakes about as late. Tries to go for the switchback here. Oh, goes over the grass. That's not optimal. That's surely going to allow Frank Hemming to go and gain a bit of positions. Who has a bit of wheel spin coming out of the hairpin himself. But that was the first attempt done for the lead by Leon Buck. He really wants it.
Yeah. And also, look behind, so Cardass, I said it would be difficult to close in cars front.
Sorry, Vandervoort and Menoclon just came in contact, and they go way back. Yeah, they do. They are both veterans of Simracing, and they really do go far back between each other. So they came together in the hairpin. Seems like Vandervoort didn't give him too much space at the exit. Slight touch. But I think that battle's going to be lasting quite a bit. I think they're going at it.
Yeah, by the looks of it, it's going to get maybe a bit too personal. Maybe it'll get a bit too spicy, but should make it interesting for us to, at least to watch. But yeah, I was saying about Karnas. I said it would be difficult for him closing in on the cars in front with a 10-second gap, 12 laps to go. But so far, he has been closing in by about a second a lap. Obviously, that might drop off a little bit by the end when his tyres getting a bit worn, but at the moment it's looking good for him to at least be able to close in on the group. That doesn't necessarily mean that he can make the move.
Did Gomez just overtake?
Yeah, speaking of making the move, yeah, Gomez made the move on Walborn there, side by side, going into the right hand kink. They'll leave just about enough room. Gomez going to dive up the inside. Oh, Walborn's getting out of shape. Bit of contact there. Walborn's kept that. Wasn't the cleanest, but I think that was just Walborn messing up its braking slightly and just wiggling around a bit. Not, nothing on purpose, but he's kept the position there anyway. Yeah.
It looked a bit like he was threatening to turn in. It wasn't illegal. It looked like he was threatening to turn in onto him and basically ask him, "Do you really want to go for this?" And then he made a little bit of a mistake himself. But maybe just be that he turned in too early, or even didn't see Gomez in time, and then got a little bit surprised. But he's got in a position. This is all playing into the hand. Ooh, that's a bit of a track extension, Pedro. But this is all playing into the hands of Cardass. There's only how many laps to go? There's only 8 laps to go. But the gap is about 5.3 seconds. It's not impossible. Definitely not. The tire will drop off. The 1 second lap will not stay like this. You never know. If they keep battling, it could, you could, really gain a lot of time per lap. And it
well, actually, looking at it on that last lap, due to the battling, Carlos is actually 1.8 seconds quicker than Kios Makers and Gomez and Walborn in front.
Wow.
So obviously that's not necessarily due to tyres. Due to them battling, but it all helps him. And actually looking behind, Leonov on the soft has got himself involved in this battle with Klont and Vandervoort. Make a move at the hairpin there. He's going to go for it in this next corner. Menno's defending on the inside. That works just to hold him back. But yeah, obviously Leonov, he went even longer on that first stint than Cardass did. so he'll have even fresher soft tyres here that he'll try to make work. In front of him, well, Opportunity and Whitehouse there, still not too far in front, but he's going to want to pass these two cars quite quickly if he wants to make any more positions. And yeah, with Klontz and Van der Voorts fighting already, it might not be too easy for Leonov.
Just see Ben Willis being overtaken, I think, by Philip Koenig. Beautiful car, by the way, must say. The PB Racing, I really like it. But we have a lot of beautiful liveries on this grid. And so we have our one-off livery here from Razor. Still really close. Frank Hemming doesn't seem to be able to follow. Gap's more or less, well, he is able to follow, but nothing more than that.
You say that, you just loses it quite a bit there in that corner. I noticed, I think it's a different car. Frank Hemming, he lapped a PLS a few laps ago, and now he's got Dabrowski in front in the PLS. I'm not sure if it's maybe there was some sort of mistake and it's let Dabrowski back through, but yeah, Frank maybe getting us slightly held up from lap cars there. Not too sure. And also, I said it about Cardass earlier with his DRS, but Keels Makers as well seems to be closing his DRS down the back straight, or down the long straight. Whether that's purposeful or not, I'm not too sure. I'm not sure why he would. So maybe there's a few issues for these drivers going on. It was fine down the short straight there, but yeah, it's interesting to see. And I think he has actually dropped out of DRS now completely, so I'd hope that wasn't purposeful then for him to drop that.
No, I wouldn't say so, no. We have currently, actually, Leonov has passed Klont for P11. You really want that P10 just for the chance to start on pole. If you get P11, there's no way you're starting on pole. 0% chance for race 2. So we see a battle there. Opportunity and Whitehouse going at it. Opportunity attacking Whitehouse. Gets the slipstream here. Now Whitehouse will surely defend the inside, or will he not? Yes, he will. Opportunity going for the outside. Doesn't brake late enough, or does Whitehouse brake too late? Overshoots it. That gives Opportunity the chance to get that position. Great move, great positioning from him, and gets P8.
Yeah, that was great from Opportunity. He really did set him up, even a few corners behind, and yeah, it's worked really well. Also interesting you talking there about the reverse grid. So Kia's Makers at the moment is P6 and actually looking relatively comfortable. But obviously Cardass on those softs might want to spoil that party. And I know we've joked about it a bit before with the Crossfire cars getting that pole position on the reverse grid. I think I counted it. I think out of the 8 rounds we had up to Silverstone, a Crossfire was on pole 6 times.
Oh.
So, I mean, they might be looking to make it 7 out of 9 here. Kia's Makers is in the perfect position for it in P6. At the moment, at least, unless Cardass again follows that. But yeah, it really has worked out well for Crossfire, this reverse grid. And really, it's been the reason why they've been so high in the championship. They've been able to kind of get solid results in race 1 and capitalise on the reverse grid in race 2. So yeah, maybe just trying to do that again.
Not a solid result for race 1 for David Junto. Had that lap 1 incident and is now driving around in P22. Not what he would have wanted. Not what he would have wanted. But always race 2. He's not going to start from high up. Yeah, not the race for him, and it seems like he's been dropping off a bit lately, if I'm honest. He was really on it the first few races, but he's been struggling in the last 3 races, I would say.
Yeah, it just I don't know. It seems to have been a more kind of up and down for him in terms of maybe it's luck, maybe it's him. Because obviously Canada as well. He had another poor race there, but then
Buck. Making another move. Sorry to interrupt you. Remember what you were saying, because Buck is now doing the switchback on Quintet. I don't think he's not enough in front, but now he's not taking a slipstream. That could be not the wisest decision. Is he gonna? Quintet goes very wide, and now if he outbrakes himself, this could be opportunistic for Buck. Oh, he's really going for it. But look what it has allowed. It's not Frank Hemming right behind them, but behind Zio Binski, I think that is. No, it's not.
That's Dabrowski still,
Dabrowski.
sorry. Dabrowski now is holding
Blue
up Frank
flags.
definitely through there.
Yeah, blue flags needs to obey
Just
to
let
them.
through.
And there you go. Yeah.
But yeah, all of that, Bok not able to pull off a move, and it has allowed Frank to close in quite a bit. I believe we'll see when he crosses the line there. Yep, he's just within the 1 second window to get DRS, and he does open it. So yeah, that has helped Frank a lot. But yeah, Leon obviously is going to be wanting to make that move, and potentially try to pull away. As looking back as well, Cardass has now closed in on Gearsmakers with those soft tyres. He's right on the back of it now. I think, to be honest, going down the straight, I don't think there's going to be much Gearsmakers could do to hold off. Nope, Cardass just going around the outside quite simply, and Gearsmakers sort of comes back in the brake zone, but not enough just due to the grip on those soft tyres, and that's Cardass in P6. Might be a bit too difficult for him to close in on Gomez and Wallboard in front, but if they battle, then anything could happen.
I'm talking about anything can happen. Anything can happen at the front, as Menno Knott and Tom Veddevoort are still actually battling it out. Menno is still not past. He's been going for so many laps. Now takes the inside. There's the brake late. It could be contact there. Ooh, slightly. And Tom Vandervoort keeps his car straight from Wayne touching the rear tire. But he survives and still stays in front. Big battle going on there for P11. None of them are giving up. And we have a 3-way fight for the victory with 2 laps to go here. This could be anyone's race.
Yeah, at the moment, obviously, Quintai's sort of been controlling it from the start. But he hasn't necessarily looked the best pace-wise. Obviously, Frank Hammond has done a great job in the second stint to close in. Leon Bock as well. It's been looking very fast. So, yeah, it's like saying anything can happen with Quintai. Goes too deep into the hairpin there, but he gets a good exit from it. So Leon maybe not close enough to make a move there.
Well, he's not taking the pitch early enough, I would say, Leon Bock. He seems to be settling for P2, which seems uncharacteristic. But that was a big mistake from Quintai, maybe indicating his tires are going. Next lap will probably be, well, it will be the last lap of the race. So one more shot, I would say, at the hairpin. He needs to get close in Sector 1, get the nice little slipstream, and then it will be all about the hairpin, you know. Where do you position yourself? Where does Quintai position himself? Even where does Frank Hamming position himself? Because he's not out of this yet.
Yeah, definitely. Just looking behind, so Menno did finally make a move on Tom Vandervoort that stuck and was clean. So he's up into P11, and Leonov, who obviously had to fight his way through them, is right on the back of Whitehouse and Opportunity for P8. Obviously Leonov on those soft tyres with Opportunity and Whitehouse on the mediums. So he'll be looking to make some sort of move on this final lap. But we'll have a look at the front.
Is now right behind him. He's surely going to go for a move. This is his last opportunity. Quintai cutting turn 1 a bit. I'm not sure if Buck will be too happy with it. Buck getting out of the slipstream early. Quintai locking up his tires. No, it was shooting. Now, better exit for Liam Buck? Not really, no. So it seems like the race victory will go to Quintai. He did cut turn 1 a bit in that lap. I'm not sure if Buck will be too happy with that. There's a battle of back markers going on at the front there. That is Jack Nichols fighting with David Junt, actually, for P21, 22. So Quintai now coming through the final sector. Frank Hamming is really closing up, but where do you overtake in the line in the final sector? Nowhere, really. So this will likely be the finishing order. Quintai, Buck, and Hamming, top 3. How they started, not in the right order. That changed up a bit. Frank Hamming and Buck switched around. But there we go. Quintai winning race 1 in style and was under pressure all race, but finishes it ahead of Leon Buck and Frank Hamming. And then behind we have Walbing and Gomez pretty close. What do you think?
Yeah, that's Cardass he was right in the back of Gomez and Wall1, but he ran wide out the final corner there, just keeping it in front of Gearsmakers to take that P6. As behind them, all what's happened there? Leonov has got past Opportunity in that final sector somewhere. No, or maybe I got that wrong. No, so Opportunity made a mistake at the left-hander just in sector 2 that's allowed Whitehouse and Leonov through. So
Cardass doing donuts. He's really happy about this result.
yeah,
We have our finishing order: Quinte winning race 1, Buck P2 put pressure all race long, but unfortunately couldn't get the move done. Frank Hemming P3, maybe not the optimal strategy, but had really good pace, and it's gonna promise a lot for race 2. Jannis Walborn P3 didn't have a candle to, whatever, man, I don't know what the saying is. He didn't have anything to say to the pace of the 3 front runners. Neither did Gomez, but great run from him in P5. Cardass starting P13, amazing job finishing P6 on the alternate strategy. Caresmakers P7, reverse grid pole, that would be not unexpected. Let's say that. We have George Whitehouse on P8, Ivan Leonov P9, Opacini P10, Menno Klont P11, Tom Pendevore P12. I managed to lose the battle between him and Menno in the end. Craig Pedersen on P13, Mikko Galka also doing donuts and P14. They're both doing donuts at the hairpin. Uh, clearly happy about the result. Double point finish. And the final point scoring position is going to Scott Mitchell, P15. With, to be fair, except for lap 1, we had a pretty clean race. Well, clean in terms of accidents. But not everyone happy. Seems like people, as I said, were complaining about turn 1 track limits. We see the chat right now.
yeah. I think I mean, like we said at the start, it is a tricky corner. Obviously, these drivers are meant to do what they can to keep within track limits. It is a bit of a tricky one. I mean, anything like that will go to the disciplinary committee after the race if it gets reported, and they'll have a proper look into it. But I mean, from what I saw, so there were a few bits of contact made while battling, but from what I saw, yeah, it was relatively clean all round, and yeah, quite a good race on that front.
It really was, yeah. Only really lap 1, which unfortunately meant for David Junt, championship contender, that he couldn't recover really at good pace. But 21st is what he could do with no other incidents happening in front of him after missing wings. We have both racers driving next to each other in the stadium section, greeting their fans in their home Grand Prix. But we will be going for a little break here. Don't go anywhere because we have race 2 coming up, 22 laps, the sprint race of Supercup round 9 here at Hockenheim. It will be no mandatory pit stops, but what we could see is an ultra strategy double or one stop. I said it right, one stop with double stops, or is it going to be a one stop? A zero stop. I almost did it right. Is it going to be a one stop with double stops or a zero stop with the mediums? That's what we're going to have to see. Hopefully, we'll see alternate strategies. We'll be right back. We're going to go for a break. Don't go anywhere. 5 minutes, and we'll be here again. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to race 2 of Supercup here in Germany. We're about to get underway for the second race here. We have reverse grid number, and it's not a crossfire on pole. Shock Pikachu face. Actually, that one's used for sarcastic things, is it? Not surprised Pikachu face. Ivan Leonov is on pole. Reverse grid number was 9. We have George Whitehouse on P2, and the rest of the grid we will run down as they get underway for the formation lap. Everyone, or well, most people just doing the race runs now. Final few for the car, and we're about to move to the race, Josh.
Yeah. So, yeah, obviously it's interesting to see Leonov on pole. It's actually one of the higher kind of reverse grid numbers we've had in a while. I think it has been a lot of P6 and P7, which has been what's allowing the crossfires to take that one. But yeah, should make it interesting with Leonov there. I think strategy-wise as well, be quite interesting. I think 22 lap race, it's going to be quite difficult for the drivers here to definitely take the softs. Medium should be all right, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe some people are going for a one-stop, but don't know if that will be fastest option.
What I'm seeing is everyone on mediums so far except Zubinski and Dabrowski. Coincidentally, they're teammates. So maybe that PLS Racing team is going for a one stop. Rosic seems to also be on stop, but anything can change. It's just provisionally. I think most people are going for a 0 stop though.
Yeah, like I say, I think that will be probably the quickest way. See a lot of people loading in now, most of them on the medium, so yeah, I think that's a better choice. Yep, everyone should be on the grid now, so...
Yep, we have Ivan Leonov driving away from pole position. Did a good race 1, and now he's got all to do from the first row of the grid together with George Whitehouse. Matteo Kiersmakers on P3. Still didn't get pole, but hey, he still got a good position in the reverse grid race. Damien, well, he put himself in that position to be fair. Damien Cardas behind him, great race 1, now looking to redeem himself. Well, not redeem himself, do another great race in race 2. Pedro Gomez, P5, Jens Wilborn, P6 in his home Grand Prix. Frank Hemming behind him with Leon Buck, also his home Grand Prix. Alessandro Conte is 9th, race 1. Opacini right behind him with Menno Klont 11th. Tom Penderful, P12. Craig Pedersen right behind him. Mikko Gauka, good recovery drive from outside the points to P14. Scott Mitchell, P15. Ziubinski, the first guy on the softs. He's surely going to go on a one stop. Milan Rajkovic, P17 with Koenig behind him. Then Frelich, Ben Willis, David Junt, Jack Nichols, P22. Dabrowski, teammate of Ziubinski, also on the softs, so seems to be going for a one stop. Mark Fuller, 24th, with Pedro Grosic also doing the same on the softs. Matt Richards, 26th, and Dan Kell, both then shows unfortunately had a horrible race 1. Now looking for some points. We have a disconnect. Jack Nichols just left the race. That is very unfortunate. Oh, that's really bad for him. We have P27, Mihajlo Vicetovic at P28, Thomas Harvey to round out the grid. But it seems to be a trend that we lose people on the formation lap. First we had Leon Buck in Silverstone race 1. Then we had Thomas Harvey, who's running out the grid this time, who had an issue, I think, with his software or hardware, who had to DNS in race 1 this time around. And now we have Jack Nichols, who I think pulled over in the gravel, and now also not starting the race.
Yeah, it's a shame to see. Because on the one hand, it's good to see that Thomas Harvey is back and seemingly racing this time out. Obviously, haven't stopped in race 1, but yeah, on the flip side, we've got Jack Nichols leaving.
Alright, so we have 4 lights on already, 5 lights on, and who gets a good start around here? It's Leonov with a great start, but also Whitehouse is a bad start. Kiersmakers right around the outside. Will he make the move? Yes, he will. Gomez goes very wide, tries to make that move stick. That should be illegal. Should give that place back to Whitehouse, and he does. So now there's a law. That's very late braking there. And actually, Kears makes a tiny bit of a mistake. Whitehouse and Gomez get together. This gives Buck an opportunity. Sorry, it's Warburn an opportunity to send it around the inside of him. And that is a Warburn with a great start up to P4 already. He gets a slipstream on Gomez as well. Leonov has really pulled away after a brilliant start. Will Warburn try to break him? No, he won't. Whitehouse will, though. Run the inside, slide wheel banging. It's so busy. They come together. Actually, Warburn pulls Gomez and Whitehouse together. Whitehouse actually gets back into P3 because of that.
Yeah, there's very interesting there. Oh, Frank Hammond and Cardos getting a bit touchy there. The right-hander, as Hammond uses that to actually get past Gomez.
Not yet.
Get around the outside. Oh, more contact.
How is everyone still not spinning? Hemming still going for it. Oh, Gomez and Hemming!
Oh my god. How did they not have a big crash there? I mean, Hamming and Gomez both starting through turn 11, and that's not what you want. But somehow they've both kept it. And I was about to say that, I mean, down the grid it's been a lot cleaner than race 1. There's been, from what I can see, no big collisions. So there's been some contact like we saw there, but yeah, it's all been relatively clean.
Well, it's been clean, but it's been close. We have no incidents so far, but a lot of close calls. So people taking a lot of risk in this race 2 obviously is way shorter. Obviously, for most people there will be no pit stops. So yeah, a lot of risk being taken in the end. Whitehouse P3 after it looked like he had a horrible start.
Yep, there's Gomez there going around the outside with Johannes Walborn, and Walborn locks up, and there's more contact there. But again, somehow they've both recovered. I don't know how they're doing this, but they're all barging into each other and then somehow making it out fine. As there's more contact there, as Walborn locks up and he runs wide because of it, losing the position to Frank Hemingway and surprisingly no one else.
More drama behind. Scott Mitchell overshooting, I think, the corner, and now he's getting swarmed by 3 cars. That is a little bit of a touch there by who's that? I can't even see
and Rozak in front.
Rozak,
I believe, yeah.
Wow. Close battling all around, and so far everyone's still going strong. The whole field within 13 seconds. No front wings lost, no nothing lost. Which is what you like to see.
Yeah, definitely. And this lap now with DRS being activated, might making it even more spicy. At the front, Kiersmakers and Leonov have actually pulled quite a big gap, maybe due to the battling behind, but they're both looking very quick. Kiersmakers arguably even quicker, because he's managed to close in onto Leonov to only half a second and is well within the DRS range. Whitehouse right now in P3 in a bit of no man's land. Gomez quite some way behind, and he's actually battling with Hamming and Walborn and the like.
Hamming just had a lot of wheel spin trying to overtake Gomez there. Almost spun, but he managed to save it. Almost spinning seems to be the theme of Frank Hemming in this weekend, to be fair. He's done a lot of nice saves, but he's held it on the road, and he's getting a lot of points. He's currently, looking very fast and very fighty, as we see Denkel fighting it out with one of the PLS's, Dabrowski there. Denkel sends it down the inside. Dabrowski, gets a bit of a wheel spin and turns into Denkel, but Denkel gets that position. So nice move there. Position gained.
Yeah, it's like you said, especially with Frank, it's I've noticed that actually that seems to sort of be in some ways his driving style is to just look out of control all the time, but he always manages to make it work, and seemingly is able to get the pace out of the car from that. In Silverstone, due to the difficult conditions, it maybe didn't help him so much. Had a few issues there, but it's good to see, and I mean it seems to work well for him. So
it does. It really does. So we have Leonov leading from Casemakers. Leonov needs to be a bit careful on turn 1, I would say, because he went very wide in this lap. Menno Klont just overtaken by Galka, if I'm right. Oh, there's a crash there.
Yeah, Craig Patterson hopped up massively into the hairpin and losing a few positions.
But how is there still every wing attached on every single car? I don't understand, as there is a attempt there around the inside of Rozak, but not more than just an attempt. And there was big contact there, but no wings lost still.
Yeah, it's quite mad. I mean, yeah, it's still got 28 cars packed within 18 seconds,
Wow.
which is very close, as even more
Pedersen
close.
and
Devon
John
and
got around the outside. That
yeah.
will be a brilliant move, but he can't make it. And now that gives Denkel an opportunity to also get a little sniff of that position, but that is just not more than that. Pedersen seems to be under big attack here from David John. David John really desperate to make up positions, and rightfully so. He needs points.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, race 1 was a bit of a disappointment to him. Obviously, not necessarily his fault. Keels makes it at the front, dives it down the inside of Leonov at the hairpin. Cannot get him stopped in time, and Leonov takes that back and has probably managed to pull out a bigger gap from that. So it was very opportunistic from Gears Makers, but it didn't quite work out.
Spin behind that. When he taps someone around. I think that's Dabrowski around, and the front wing gone. That's Denkel. His weekend does not get any better. Denkel has damage. Vicenovic, nothing. Sorry, Dabrowski gets spun around. Maybe has suspension damage, but not any wings missing. That all happened in the hairpin. So Dabrowski has a big task on his hand. He has the softs, and he is currently third to last. So
Actually, that makes me think. Matt Richards, he also would have had. He had a bad race 1, didn't he? He would have started around P26 or 25 or something.
Yeah,
he's in P14 right now after 5 laps. So that's 12 places in 5 laps. That is a very good start from him. Obviously, maybe his teammate not doing quite so well, but that's a very good start. If that is true, from what I remember, he had a bad race 1, didn't he?
Hemming, he had a best start. He was 26, but Hemming now makes the move on George Whitehouse. Hemming is like a rocket. He's extremely fast. And now it's 2 seconds to go to Matteo Keersmakers approximately. We also have a battle going on. We have Ziobinski and Opacini as we see it on the screen. Ziobinski gets the position. He's defending from Opacini actually. Opacini tries to go down the inside. Oh, Opacini late breaking move. And he can't keep it around the outside, understandably. So position kept.
Yeah. So, Hurricane move's going on there. We'll see what Frank Cameron can do now. In race 1, he definitely had the pace on the cars in front. See if he can do it again here. As you look at that, Tom van der Voort got very out of shape there. Made a bit of contact there with Rosak. But, yeah, still, I can't believe that Dankel is the only, he's actually retired now. But he's the only sort of major incident we've had. Even with all of this kind of barging around that's been happening. It's quite mad.
Just saw Tom van der Voort have a little mistake, losing about second on the last 2 turns. But at the front, it's still Leonov for Keersmakers, and then Hemming, who in no time will be in DRS. I think he's already got DRS. And behind we have Whitehouse and Gomez going at it. Gomez around the outside. Can't see what's happening there. Seems like Gomez has not gotten the position. But big battle there. Tiny bit of touch. That's Walborn Quinte. And Walborn has made a mistake, surely. He was far ahead of this pack, and now Wilbang and Quinte, and he's Walborn spins around, and that is no wing lost. But a lot of positions lost for sure. 13th, 15th he's now in. And that seemed like retaliation from both of them. They seemed to turn into both of them just out of, it seemed like almost revenge, really. Like, oh, you turn into me, I'm turning into you. That multiple times, and then they both spin.
Yeah, that was not very good. It was the first kind of, or one of the first kind of major incidents we've had, but I think that sort of thing has been brewing for a long time. Always, Walborn as well, he's inside David John.
Oh, what?
I don't know what has happened there. I've just...
The tango dancing! What is happening?
What has happened there? Walborn, I think he lagged out. Yeah, he lagged out in the stadium section and rejoined inside David John. That is so unfortunate, especially for David John, who was obviously trying to make his way up from a poor race 1, and that has not helped him for race 2.
Is that the 8-wheel Tyrrell?
It must be, yeah, some sort of new development.
Well, you were talking earlier about Matt Richards, and he's already gained another place. He's gained a position on Menno Klont, who is now in P14. So really doing a great job in race 2 here.
Yeah, it's a great start. So I guess he must have just done a great job of keeping out of all these kind of bumping that's been happening. And Tom van der Voort, that's another bump happening. He's didn't lose any wing, but quite a big contact, and he went for a spin there at turn 10. But yeah, it's been a bit of a feisty round so far, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it's the 2 championship contenders, especially for the constructors, or for the teams rather. We have a Crossfire not out, but well, might as well be 26th and last of the cars still running, and Jens Wolbert obviously for Razor 0 pointer. So unfortunate for them. But this is all going to play into the hands of a guy who's in third and a team who's in third. Frank Hemming and Namako, as we see Whitehouse under attack from Pedro Gomez again. Gomez going for the undercut. Doesn't manage it, but has the slipstream now. Maybe a move on the next turn is possible. Gets out of the slipstream. Oh, that's close. Has to stamp on the brakes there, but doesn't make the move. At front we have, or behind a bit, we have Gelka. Yeah, what do you see? Oh, a spin.
Yeah, Philip Koenig round at the hairpin, and who else is that? It's
Harvey.
Thomas Harvey round as well. I just saw the tail end of that. Saw Koenig hitting someone and spin around. So that's a shame there.
Wrote
First
that.
few that.
Just made a mistake, sorry, and lost the position to Gelka. He did a Tony Hawk and went full skater mode on the curbs. Unfortunately, didn't work out for him, and he lost the position. Reminder that he still has to go for a pit stop. A car off. That's Philip Koenig again, who has a heavily damaged car actually. So he's gonna go to the pits for sure.
Yeah. Interesting actually there with Rozak on those salts. Obviously you would expect him to pit, but you don't actually have to. I'd be quite impressed if he makes the soft last for 22 laps, but you know, you never know. He could be trying some sort of interesting strategy there.
Oh, at the front, Matthias Kersmakers has made the move stick on Ivan Leonov, and that is P1 inherited from Ivan Leonov. Tries to look at the inside, but can't make it happen. So that is P1, and now it's the task of Matthias Kersmakers to pull away. He's got quite a big gap to P4, which is 3 seconds. But Frank Hemming is on the hunt. He's surely going to make a move as soon as possible on Ivan Leonov.
Yeah, that's good for Matteo to be able to do that, and I'm sure, yeah, like say Frank will be looking to pass Leonov quite quickly, and battle with Kersmakers for the win here. Because if he does that, he'll actually be gaining quite a lot of points on his kind of title rivals, Leon Bock and Quintai, P7 and P8. Not great for them, as actually opportunity pits on those soft tyres.
He was on the softs as well. Honestly, didn't even mention that. I'm sorry, Albertini. He's on the soft and he's going for the alternate strategy, going on to another set of softs for 12 more laps. He's dropping far back into the field. He will come out around P20. Well, he's going to drop behind his big train. He's going to come second to last. Yeah. Wow, that is hurting a lot. Even Leonov actually send it back to Kersmakers. We're all missing that. But Kersmakers now around the inside, but that won't be the inside for long. Leonov will have the inside for the next turn, and this could be a change for the lead once again, and it will be if Leonov makes this corner, and he does.
Yeah, and all of this has allowed Frank Hemming right onto the tail of them, even closer than he has been before.
Oh, and someone's touching him.
Yeah, and like I say, yeah, this could help him massively in the championship if he's able to. I mean, even just staying in P3 will help him a lot. Yeah, it's looking very good for him. But hopefully these guys at the front can keep it a bit cleaner than what we've seen further down the road. Like I was saying, at the start of the race, it was all looked like it was going to kick off. And we had a few laps there where it did. There's actually Zabinski also in the pits now on those softs, and is Patrick Rozak as well.
Yep.
So yeah, those soft tyres clearly not trying to zero stop it like I maybe thought, but yeah, they're all pitting now. It looks like it's not going to be the best strategy Opportunity's still in second to last. Well, not actually anymore because of those other soft runners, but yeah, it's not looking like the best of strategies right now.
Whitehouse and Bock at it. Lee and Bock inherits the position with a clean overtake, and that is another position gain. So yeah, you were saying Hemming really gaining on his rivals in this race. Bock is on the move, but he's not doing it as fast as Hemming has been. Maybe preserving his tires a bit more and going for it at the end. Latter stages starting from now, getting the move on Whitehouse. Next target, the Gallery 82 of Damian Cardas, and then Pedro Gomez, who is actually gaining a lot on this group at the front. He's only 1.3 seconds away from Hemming, and a lap or one or a lap or two or more, and it won't be anything at all. It will be a big group all within DRS.
Yeah, it's been interesting. It seemed like at the start of the race, maybe the top three at least were all sort of a bit above the rest, and we're all pulling away quite a bit. But it's not happened so far. As Frank Hemming is actually even potentially looking for a move there at turn 2 on Gears Makers after Matteo ran wide at turn 1, losing a bit of time there. So yep, it's all getting more bunched together now. Now we've gotten past the halfway point.
Last pit stop I'm expecting is Dabrowski, as he's going for a new set of softs. Hemming can't seem to get past Kissmakers. And now Gomez does have DRS, so this group is just expanded from a 3-man group to an 8-man group. Gonna be a big fight here for sure. 100%. Medrich is up to P9 already. He's doing a phenomenal job in this race. Bad news for him is he's got a 7-second gap to the guy in front, so that will likely not happen unless something big happens. But he's done an amazing job already.
Yep, also, I think something big happened there. Vicentijevic is out of this race, I've just noticed. I'm just watching it back. I'm not sure if I'd want to call my thing on there, but he just didn't seem to slow down at turn 2 there, hitting Rozak and crashing out of the race. Like I say, I don't want to put my call onto that, but it looked a bit, maybe more than just in an accident.
Stupid.
Yeah, definitely stupid, but yeah, that's not what we want to see.
But to be fair, what I think may have happened is he just brain farted and literally forgot to brake for a corner.
It could just be that. That's why I don't want to say too much. But yeah, it's either way. It's not what you want to see. But I suppose both of them were not necessarily looking great for points. Although Rozak had just put on those fresh softs, so yeah, it might not change it too much, but it's still not what you want to see.
Rozak is a very fast improving driver, and I really like seeing him race because also in Super League Lights he did Baku. He was up for great points, but then got taken out. And really, I don't know. I've got a weak spot for Rozak. I have no idea why. But it's great to see him improve from the start of the year with FC. He's doing better every single race. And he's, now you know where he's at. He's always at the front in FC. And he was doing good here as well. Nothing special, but just good. And fortunate to see that happen to him. They were both in decent positions as well. I think they were in the top 15. So unfortunately, they had to come to this. It could have been deliberate, you never know, but he did try to brake in the end. It was a really stupid move nonetheless, and that's the end of both of their races.
Yeah, and a front note, looking back for that, it's so yeah, like I say, it's all sort of closed up even more into a more 6 car with, I mean, Whitehouse and Quintai do still have DRS, but they're not as close as the guys in front. And at the moment, because of that, it's all seems to just sort of evened out. No one's really able to make moves on the car in front. But there's still time. I'm sure later in the race it'll all kick off again, and we'll get some moves going.
So remember Canada race 2 where Leonov won and then almost, well, he crashed over the finish line really. He could win another race too. This would be a second race win. Let's hope, if it does come to it, he has learned his lesson from Canada.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. I think to be honest, something like that is more of a bit of an embarrassing thing to do, more than anything. I did it before at a different league where I was very happy that I'd won, and it's more just celebrating and getting a bit too carried away with it rather than purposely trying to do anything. At least that's how I see it. But yeah, I'm sure for this race he'll, if it comes to that, I'm sure he'll have learnt his lesson, and maybe he'll just go for moving towards the pit wall rather than trying to wiggle around a bit too much.
By the stance, he's not got a lot of time to move to the pit wall because he's right under pressure from Matteo Kersmakers, who has the slipstream, who has the DRS, and who has the run. Breaks late, goes for the inside. Leonov gives him space, and that's a clean move by Kersmakers, who now goes back into the lead. But we've seen from last time that shouldn't, no, it cannot last long.
Leonov sends it to the next corner.
Oh.
Bit of contact there, but tight racing for both of them, and Kersmakers, he does seem to have made that one stick, and that's allowed Frank Hamming actually alongside Leonov going into turn 11. They leave each other room. Frank Hamming is still there, going to be around the outside of this hairpin, which was difficult to do due to the camber, as Leonov breaks a bit late, but keeps up, or at least keeps P2 there. That was good to see. I mean, Kersmakers, he did a lot better than his last dive bomb at the hairpin, at least. Yeah, maybe Kersmakers will have to try to. I mean, Leonov there. Yeah, a bit too much at turn 1.
A lot of people complaining about the track limits, and I understand them because I would not be happy if I'm just trying to keep it clean within track limits, and some guys just yeeting it across, winning 2 to 3 tenths a lap, and better tire wear as well. I understand it. I completely understand it. As we have Leonov now touching around the outside, but no way you're gonna make that. Surely has to get back in the queue.
Yeah, and actually on your point there with track limits, I see what you mean. It's more just, obviously, especially at a corner like that, accidents do happen, and it's very difficult to keep it perfectly on track every single lap. But there's a difference between just making a mistake and kind of running wide. Not necessarily on purpose, but if you keep the time gained by doing it, keep your throttle in it, especially at a place there where it's also a DRS straight, then that's not what you want to see, and it is also what the people around you are definitely going to get annoyed about. But so far on this lap though, Kersmakers actually pulled out a big gap as Leonov goes for that wide turn 1 line again. Maybe he's just made that part of his racing line by now. But Kersmakers made a big gap there. Leonov is 2 tenths closer now at the sector 1 split than he was at the start line. So
I wonder why.
Maybe that gives an indication as to why people get annoyed about that, but not close enough to make a move this lap.
Well, who is making a move? Is that? Who's that? Is that? Leon Bach and Quinte battling it out together with Wild, actually.
Was that Quintai going for a move and just he's just ran too deep, trying to go around the outside, very close to hitting Carlos there, but luckily kept it clean, and they all kind of stayed in their positions that they were before. But yeah, still a very close train. Still all really in a chance of podiums, to be honest, if anything kicks off at the front. I mean, the top 3 have really looked the fastest so far all race, but anything can happen.
I would say Gomez and Hemming have looked pretty fast. I think Hemming just can't get past because of the DRS. He had one opportunity, and it's not worked out. But Leonov now super close, probably because of turn 1. But he is pretty close, and he's gonna try and line up a move. 3 tenths is the gap, and I think we may see a move here. Leonov, known for his aggressive moves, doesn't even have to go that aggressive here. He's already passed.
Yeah, he's made that move cleaner there.
Ooh, a touch, and that gives Hemming a chance to go around the outside of Matteo Kersmakers. Is there enough room? I don't think so, not yet at least. And Kersmakers running into the back of Leonov. Wouldn't have liked that. Tried to go for the undercut, for the switchback rather, and it did not work out. So Leonov still in the lead. Or back in the lead rather, sorry.
One interesting actually was the track limits. To kind of touch on that subject again, especially in a race like this, If it gets reported, which I think with how close the battle's been, I think it might. It's basically it's time penalties per cut you make, and with Leonov so far seemingly doing it most laps, he keeps within track limits there, but doing it quite a lot. If he wins this race and then people do report it and he does get penalised, he will drop a lot of positions. We saw a slightly different scenario, but with Deegan Fairclough at Silverstone. He overtook round the outside of Stowe on Guillaume Branton to take the win. But because he was outside track limits, he went from P1 to P14 after penalties. Obviously with track cuts it might not be quite that extreme, but it's something to think about for Leonov, because yeah, I think with how often he's done it, there's going to be a fair few annoyed drivers at him wanting to report it.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
it's something to keep in mind at the end of this race.
And he's still currently leading, but yeah, it's 0.5 per cut after the first three. The first three you get for free. So if any of you drivers are watching and you haven't cut at least 3 times in a race, go ahead and cut, because you get them for free. Well, I wouldn't do that actually, because if you really gain a lot of time and do it on purpose, then it will still be looked into, and you may get another penalty.
Behind Milan Rajkovic has just gone for a spin after contact with Opportuni. He's in the gravel there on the exit of turn 10. He keeps it going though, so he's back in the race. But yeah, I only caught the end of that. That looked like a slight touch there from Opportuni on the inside has sent him spinning, which was a shame to see. But at least they're still going with probably no damage from that one.
Leonov still on the thread, but he's got a lot of top speed compared to Kersmakers. I think they may be making the biggest difference. Everyone's so close in this hairpin. They're almost like, literally a train, all connected. It's insane to see, but no one is making a move on anyone. But it's going to require a dive bomb to really make a move here, because everyone's just so much top speed because of the DRS train. 2 laps to go, or rather 1.5 laps to go. Really, one more overtaking opportunity.
Yeah, it's quite a tricky track to go for moves. I've just seen there, Manu Klon was in P11. He was going for a move on Mikhail Galka at the inside of the hairpin, and he just braked a bit too hard trying to go for it, and almost went for a spin. Did well to keep it on the track and only losing 1 position, but yeah, it is a very difficult track to go for moves, especially in trains like this and with the gap that these guys have got. Difficult, and Kiers makes a bit slidey through turn 1, so that won't help him.
His tires, I think, are gone. Oh, Hemming is really close. I think Leonov has got this win in the bag, barring any maybe future track extensions complaints. But Hemming is going for this move for sure. No more slipstream for Matteo Keersmakers. Hemming goes for a move around the outside. Doesn't brake very late, but he's trying to go for a switchback. Actually, it's not working out. He's got better traction out of this corner. Not really. He's got a bit of slipstream coming out of it now. Will he be able to make a move? No, doesn't seem to be the case. Gomez back is trying something as well, but it's not working out. Keersmakers seem to be able to hold his own and hold this P2 for himself. Leonov now entering the final sector, so is everyone else, because the entire top 8 has been in 3 seconds. That is insane. Final couple of corners now for all of these cars. Leonov coming across the final 2 turns. Keersmakers going a bit wide actually. Be careful that you don't get swarmed by Hemming. You don't. Leonov this time not spinning across the finish line, just weaving. Gets the win. Great drive by him. Keersmakers gets P2 in front of Hemming. Then Gomez. And then Cardas, Leon Bach. Quinte and P7 just behind Bach. So Quinte doing great things. So is Frank Hemming. Whitehouse in P8. Medrich is an amazing drive from P26 to P9. Absolutely amazing. Galka doing a great job as well. And now Klont in P11. Ziobinski on the 2-stop. 1-stop.
One stop. Yep.
1-stop, yep. P12 actually quite good, to be fair. Plus Scott Mitchell on the last lap, who is probably very happy with a double points finish. Good job by him. Craig Pedersen behind him in P14. Opportuni then last guy to score points started P10, so I'm not sure if he's going to be too happy. I think he got caught up in a bit of accident. Tom Hennevoort doing the same. And Simon Frelick, P17. Thomas Harvey also got up in an accident after starting last. Ben Willis, P19. 20th, Mark Fuller. Dabrowski, P21. Koenig, Junt, Rajkovic, and then all the retirements. Sorry, Rajkovic was also retired. No, he's not. No, he's not. Rozek is retired. Vijanovic, Walborn, and Denkel are the retirements. And that was that race. What do you make of that?
That was a very good race to see, wasn't it? The top 8 all finished crossing the line within 3 seconds of each other. That's just incredible. It's not something you see every day. You had maybe a bit of controversy at the front with Leonov. Be interested to see what happens with that, whether it even gets reported or not. Good battling. Got a bit feisty at times. I think just that's the nature of these race 2s. With less laps, you just kind of have to be quite forceful to make moves. But in general, it was very nice to see and very interesting battling going on.
It really was. And great racing. Unfortunately, at the end, there was no real moves to be made anymore because of that terrain. It's just so hard to make a move. You really have to be 100% committed. And I think, especially Frank Hemming, just thought about the championship instead of individual races, which is smart. A double P3 is amazing. And yeah, great job by him, scoring a lot of points.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess now we'll start with some interviews. I'll drag in. I'll start with Mateo Kiasmakers, finishing obviously P2 in that race. Very good race from him. Mateo, welcome. How was that for you?
Pretty hot, so a bit sweaty, but yeah, it feels great to be on the podium again. Very great.
Yeah, like I say again, you've had 2 podiums so far this season, but or going into this round, so that's the 3rd one now. But it's been a bit of maybe an up and down season for you between them. Are you, I guess, happy to be back on the podium and very happy with what it means for the team?
Yeah, I'm very happy. Indeed, the last couple of races weren't that great, so to be back is a very good feeling. So it was pretty tough at the end of the race with Hemming pushing really hard behind me. So I'm glad I could still get P2.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And speaking of getting the stuff, points for your team boss David Carter is here as well. David, are you happy with that? Obviously, going into this round, Crosser maybe drop back a little bit into P3 in the standings, but obviously Mateo getting the podium there, it's got to be quite good for you.
Oh, delighted. I'm really happy for Mateo because I've said it before, I'll say it again. As a driver, as someone who tests, as someone who's dedicated, he's first class. He really is first class. And P12 going into the standings, I think was, you could argue with justice, injustice. I don't think it represented him. But now he's got 3 podiums, most likely a race win as well after that, because on the other hand, what I'm really happy for Mateo, I am disgusted with the standards of driving shown by a few individuals. And it was embarrassing for the league. It was embarrassing for the drivers involved as well, because the driving standards, particularly at Turn 1, was an absolute joke. It was absolutely appalling.
Yeah, we noticed that as well. See a few drivers maybe doing it a bit more than others. But yeah, obviously that'll all have to go through the disciplinary committee. On the flip side, obviously David John, he got unlucky race 1. I didn't actually see the incident itself, but obviously he got unlucky race 1. It's a shame for him, isn't it, to come out with a pointless round.
Yeah, I mean, David, it's unfortunate stuff. He's equally disappointed as well, with the with what happened in race 1. And then, you guys know, everyone who watches the races, you're in the mixing race too. You're in the back of the pack, mid pack, and it's like a lottery. You can get caught up very easily. Accidents, incidents, people cutting across. People maybe not practice so much because of time or commitment, whatever. And it's tough. It's tough. If you're in the top 10 of all these races at the start, you've got a good chance of having a clean race, unless you make a mistake, or there's less chance of getting an instance, put it that way. And yeah, you just had a rough day. And you have to say, next point I make is you might ask me what you think about the 4-week break coming up. I cannot be happier with the 4-week break now. I play Foot Manager, do whatever I want, with the guys. But I'm going in the summer break bullish as well. I think we're going to be P3. I mean, top 4's the aim, no doubt about it. I don't want to be any lower than top 4, but I'm not going to give up a fight. Particularly after tonight with the race. I'm going to say race victory, because I think if Leonov gets it, it's a joke. I'm going in a very bullish. We've been good guys this year on track, and we've been knocked around a lot by people not involved in championship fights or anything like that. And I think it's time for maybe a bit more assertive on track, because it's been a hard season. It's been a stressful season. We got involved in incidents where it's not our fault a lot. So, we'll certainly look forward to these next 4 weeks.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. Another team boss who I'm sure will be happy with today, Tom Voss, boss of H20 Namco. How happy are you with the results today? Obviously, mainly from Frank with that podium, or double podium, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a double podium. It did go quite well. Menno scoring also the points, so 2 drives in the points, so cannot be happy more. So
Yeah, and obviously you coming into this, Namco being second in the championship, in that fight with Crossfire, and also obviously Pescara leading.
Yeah.
You got some good points on the rivals today. Are you happy about that and looking forward? Dave was talking about the summer break there. Are you looking forward to that, and maybe what
There's
your team could do afterwards?
there's no summer break here. There's no summer break here. We need to catch, so there's no summer break.
No?
No, just kidding. They can take off. They did pretty well the first half of the season, so I'm quite happy. It goes better than last year, so I'm happy. I'm more than happy. So
Well,
yeah,
that's very good to hear. So Liam, I guess to round it off, what do you think about what we saw tonight?
It was real battling, quite clean. Obviously, not everything was clean, but especially track limits will be a thing that will definitely be talked about, and I'm sure we'll touch on it after the summer break, because we'll have the summer break now. But when we come back, we'll surely talk about all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes, all the track extensions, penalties, which I think are almost guaranteed to happen. So the race win might not be guaranteed the results might not be guaranteed for everyone, really, because I think we saw a lot of cuts.
Yeah, all up and down the grid. But yeah, as you touched on there, it's we're going into a summer break for Supercup. But tomorrow is Super League Lights, and Thursday is Super League, and after that it's 4 weeks until the next round in Spa with Formula Challenge. So from me, Liam, and Rob Mason on cameras. Good night.
Bye bye.
To keep up to date with the latest GPVWC videos, click on the subscribe button, or check out more of our exciting sim racing action by choosing a video. For more information on the league, visit gpvwc.com.